hydrated out there. Like I said, I still remember traveling to Midland and playing a day game there, and my goodness, that was as hot as a soccer game has ever gotten. I mean, 2 o'clock Midland, I think the actual temperature on the field was 100 degrees, felt probably about 110, and then when you're running, count into that. So it's a bit bearable when the sun drops down and we get some decent, shade. The fans have turned out. It's fantastic what this entire city has seen since the World Cup. It's been just unbelievable. I think this season's been great for us to kind of time it, with all these games, and there's so many new fans coming into the game, and Austin's always had a good soccer community, but it's great knowing that there's local talent right here to watch. By the way, Brooks, who do you got this weekend, Argentina or the German Giants?
After watching Germany just take apart Brazil 7-1, it's an interesting lineup between the methodical machine in Germany and the pure passion of Argentina. Obviously, I'd like to see pure passion win, but, the machine, I think it's going to roll again. I think Germany's going to get their first one since the 80s.
Now, I think 90 they got their last one, but now, does that mean U.S. is better than Brazil? I've heard a couple thoughts of that since we only lost to Germany 1-0 and Brazil got spanked 7-1.
You're talking about a transitive property theory that never works, and a lot of people have talked about it in Austin.
In sports.
Right. Going back to 2008 when you got Texas Tech and Oklahoma going around, that can bring up a lot of stuff. But, USA, Brazil went further, so I'm going to say Brazil was better. But, obviously the way things panned out, I think we've got the two best teams on Sunday, and that'll be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, it does bring a good point up, and it relates to this game, and tactics are everything. I think Brazil just got their formation and their methodology wrong in that game, and that's always huge to see. Obviously, with Austin, we always see a team that's forward-thinking and aggressive and possession-oriented, and that's just how we play soccer. And so if you're a soccer fan, it's beautiful to see. Our center halves try to get to the half field and be forward. Our passes try to be direct and behind the ball. We try to keep the ball, and we've never stopped for a goal. We've never played for a tie or ever. We are always trying to win, and when we're trying to win, we're not just trying to win by one. So,
well, the forward-thinking team wins the toss and gets the ball. And in their navy and gold uniforms, the Aztecs have possession. Midland, Odessa in their white on white with red numerals. And Perales boots it all the way across to the opposite side of the field, picked up, and it's going to roll around. That'll be a goalie kick.
And again, with our forward thinking as well, this this field, our home soil, it just makes for a quick game because the AstroTurf could bounce it up so quick. Devin hit it the entire length of the field.
And Ryden with it, tries to get it over, and it's going to go out of bounds. The Aztecs try to head it in, but it's going to be a corner kick for the Aztecs, their second of the night.
And you would not believe how close that was. He would be kicking himself. I know it's so early, but Danny Freed was wide open, and it skimmed off his head with Eddie Campbell right behind him. You have to take that chance. I know it's the first 30 seconds, but that's how you jump on top of the team. Wide open header inside the 6. Went a little wide.
Well, Cito from the right side looses it across the middle, a little far, but brought down. And Odessa will defend that one back to midfield. And it's back into territory. Jeff Harlow with it on the near side. And well tackled by Danny Freed in the midfield. Midland with an open lane on the left side. Tries to get it across the middle. Walker Hume with it. Kicks back to midfield. And well defended by the Aztecs, intercepting it, kicking it back to midfield. An interesting lineup here for the Aztecs with Cito Sion, the only forward in the lineup.
Yeah, what's going to happen, it's going to somewhat turn into a 4-3-3 because Cito is up top, but you've got Eddie and Chewy pretty much, staying up. You see Eddie's obviously not even kind of tracking back, which I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying the formation's oriented for them to pretty much stay high, and you've got Jeff and Danny cleaning up everything in the midfield, and then you've got the flat back four, in the back. So even though it looks like it's a formation with only one up top, it's not like Cito's going to be alone tonight. He's going to hang in between the two center halves, and Chewy and Eddie are going to take the wing backs.
A little relative to how USA plays in a way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, with the ball in midfield, Aztecs holding on to most of the possession in this one as Midland tries to get through on it. And Cito going after it into the opposite field, back to Freed in the middle. Harlow with it in midfield. Nice pass. Kicks it over. Eddie Campbell on the near side. Across the middle, trying to find a room. Crossover and headed out by Midland.
And Eddie's one of those players we chatted about, Brooks, that wasn't starting at the beginning of the season, but he's done fantastic, scored a couple of great goals, and now you see him with playing great minutes throughout the year.
And kind of the example that we were talking about earlier on, as Dos Santos gets into it, he earned his playing time at the beginning and finds himself in the starting lineup for most of the rest of the season.
Yep.
And this one defended well by Odessa, trying to get it across midfield. Double team, it goes out of bounds. They're going to award it to the Aztecs, who, with good field position here, will be able to get a nice throw in, try and get something to the goal. And midfield, taking with it is Hume. And the midfield was Tanner Brock trying to find some room. No team really finding as much space to get a shot on, but here, Perez with the shot here gets it over into Sanchez, up and blocked away by Perales. No time left, it is kicked away and it's booted back by the Aztecs. The first shot on goal from the night from Isaac Sanchez. Boy, was that close.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying with the capabilities of what Devin has in the net. The angle was tough for Midland, but Devin got very quick and low down there, and it was a great opportunity for them, and we can't let that happen with a shot on goal inside the 18.
Well, on that end, the Aztecs looking for their first shot on goal as they kick it too far and it's picked up by Babayek, as we mentioned. Came through here and a 4-1-1 record since coming in 6 games ago, and he's really been the leader for the Sockers as they've tried to make their way back into the playoffs.
Yeah. And I don't know if it's the heat tonight or whatnot, but the game seems like it's already spaced out pretty well. We've watched earlier games, and there's a bit more jitters, and it's a bit more, just kind of whopping it long. It looks like the ball's on the ground, and both Austin and Midland are trying to Odessa's really trying to spread it out and keep it. So that should be a good one.
Freed with the throw into Cortez, loses it, and it's picked up by the Sockers across midfield. Hume with it in the middle, trying to get away, and it's tapped away. But they maintain possession, gets it down into Perez on the left side. 1-on-1 comes across the middle. Free shot goes and blocked away, picked up by Perez. Second shot on goal from Victor Perez, who is looking for his first goal of the season and almost got right there.
And I'm surprised Victor Perez hasn't scored a goal because his technique's been unbelievable. He's been cutting in on us every single time off the left wing and really got over that ball, and that was a cannon. I mean, Devin had to get low on that, which is always tough save for a keeper. So Midland's doing a good job or Odessa's doing a good job, of beating us on the counter. We're so attackative and so forward-thinking, and that's exactly how they scored on us last time. I don't know if you remember, is on the counter because we are so far up the field.
Well, the Aztecs with an opportunity to counter, but lose the ball as it's at midfield now. Fabio Pena with it, and he can't hold on to it. It's going to go out of bounds, Aztecs ball. But, I don't think there's any apology for saying Midland or Odessa. I think once you get one of them, you get the other, right?
Well, I do know up there that if you're from Midland or Odessa, you're either Midland or you're Odessa. So it's funny how obviously the teams represents both cities, but I do know it's kind of a little heated rivalry, up there in West Texas, and high school football and just kind of general way of life. So
maybe it ought to translate to both footballs.
Yeah. But here it's Midland and Odessa, so that's cool to see the kind of the team encompassing both parts of the town.
Well, the Aztecs on the opposite side of the field. Now Campbell trying to hold on to it, and it gets tackled away back to midfield, and they're just going to hold on to possession. Harlow with it in the middle to Freed. Trying to find some space.
Great technique from Danny Freed to just kind of get away from that player. It's a small touch, but those are huge to see sometimes.
Ooh, and a nice pass up to Cito. He taps over to Cortez. Trying to ballerina up to Harlow. Harlow in the middle now. Nice little chance for the Aztecs, possibly. Campbell trying to get into the middle. Looking for an open shot. Tap back to Campbell, and he can't get a foot on it. But they maintain possession. And it's blooped over and out of bounds as Freed tried to get it over to Cortez on the right side, and it goes out of bounds.
And that's what you want to see. I mean, getting up to their edge of the box and doing a couple 1-2s, why not? Great job from Eddie. Great job from Jeff Harwell. He brings that kind of age and experience. That's all it needs sometimes. Too many times growing up in soccer in the States, you see everyone trying to do Ronaldos and step-overs, but what you really need is the German way, the 1-2, the overlap, the give and go. That's how the ball gets in the back of the net.
So is that your prediction then for Sunday?
Oh, absolutely. I think Germany's going to take that game.
Well, Eddie with it, trying to keep on, but it's stolen away by Perez. Perez in the middle, back into the Soccer's side, and it's stolen away. A nice little takeaway from Ryden, but he is hobbling on that ankle as he collided with Goldborn, trying to get after that ball, almost like a safety to a running back there, getting after that ball, and hopefully he's all right.
And Kalen Ryden's been great. I remember in the preseason games, I played a couple with him. He's just an absolute monster. He played center back then, and now since Travis has come back, he's been a good teammate and slid out left. And so he's that flexibility is what keeps you on the field and what keeps you a good pick for the coach to start you.
Well, they awarded a free kick, and Perales boots it all the way to the opposite side, and it bounces out of bounds, and it will be a goalie kick for the Sockers. But going back to the nice little give and go on the opposite side, I mean, some of those passes, threading needles trying to get it through, the precision is showing some nice development in these players. All of them very young and trying to get through the USL, PDL, work their way up into the league.
Yep.
Progress like that, I'm sure Coach Manuel Pintello is happy to see that.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people realize how competitive and technical the USPDL is, or USL. It is, you've got these players that are young amateurs and starting their career or play professionally elsewhere, and it's a young league, so there's a ton of athleticism, and it's very technical. I mean, these guys are playing at top colleges, and it's a very tough league.
And Harwell with it, leads it all the way down the opposite side of the field. Campbell chasing, but he won't get there in time as it's picked up by Babayak.
And everyone's got something to prove. Every single person out there has got something to prove, and no one's content of just hanging out. Oh, great turn.
And Babayak, an Austin-grown talent as well from McNeil High School, won the regional finals here about 6 years ago. And coming home here, starting for his first time here in Austin in House Park. So a nice night for him as well.
Absolutely. If you grow up in the Austin area, I mean, this is exactly where you want to be. I mean, and the Aztecs have done a fantastic job of surrounding the community with the local youth clubs and clinics and teaching. Rick Granrud and David Markley and the entire ownership have just been tremendous in that. And that was one of the biggest causes that they wanted to do, especially going up professional next year, is keeping that community involved, and it definitely shows.
And Chewy trying to hold on to it on the opposite side, loses it, and it's tapped up into the Sockers. Might have an opportunity here, racing over to it. Spajic tries to lead it, and it's going to be picked up by Perales, and they'll get possession once again, actually calling a foul on Cortez back at about the 22-yard line.
And this is what you don't want to see, because the Hume brothers are, again, I think 6'7" in height. Big boys, especially in a soccer field. You don't see that too much. Travis and Kalen are pretty tall themselves, but those 4 to 5 inches are massive. So set pieces around the box. Look for the Hume brothers to come up big here.
Well, Hume to take the free kick. After watching so many World Cup games, I'm surprised not to see that the spray paint hasn't caught on.
Yeah, I like that.
Hey, maybe that'll come in. Loosed into the middle. Coming up, punching it away is Perales. And a nice save. But they call a foul anyway within the box, and Perales will get a free kick from his end.
What I'm looking for is the magical spray to come in. When the player's hurt, sometimes the trainer comes in and sprays this magical kind of icy hot concoction or something like that, and
right.
You pop right on up.
Well, I could use some of that.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. Nice little alarm clock. Have that ready at 6 a.m.
Yeah, that's how you wake up.
Perales loses it across the middle. 12 minutes gone here. Still tied at none apiece, as the Sockers are trying to stay intact in their playoff hopes. It's 2 points ahead of the Laredo Heat. And you mentioned this a little bit earlier. Aztecs moving on to USL Pro next year. And for those of you who have tuned in for the first time tonight for the Austin Aztecs soccer, USL PDL, kind of like a AAA, AA, single A team in the MLB, and next year they'll be moving up to AAA in a way, where they'll have some nice ties with Major League Soccer, have some interleague play, and possibly be matched up with a MLS team to start funneling some players up and have better opportunities.
Yeah, well, what's fantastic is, Austin's ambition is higher than that. I mean, this club and this city wants to be MLS. I think the goal is in 4 to 5 years or something along those lines. So we want to get up there, and we want to not only compete, we want to win the USL, and then we want to go on to the MLS. And so we're going to be hopefully playing some of those teams in the US Open Cup and preseason scrimmages and all that stuff. So it's a fantastic time in the city to make that next step. And we've already had a kind of a awesome stranglehold on the PDL just because of how good our organization is and our coaching and our players, that it's going to be great to see. And it's going to also be great to see, Brooks, if who returns from the squad.
Absolutely.
Every single player wants to stay in Austin.
Oh, and stolen away by Tanner Brock, and it is called for a foul. So there'll be a free kick for the Austin Aztecs on their end.
There's many players you'd love to see. I mean, you could keep a ton of these players in the squad. Cito's just been fantastic. I know he got picked up by the Dynamo and released. Let's see where Devin, our keeper, ends up. Travis has been great. I know he got picked up by the MLS and played a little bit in the USL as well. It kind of bounced around there. So you've got Chewy, who's been around for years, and there's just a lot of players. Andres Cuero and Adam Black's been great for us. So it's good to see that competitive nature, and it's good for Coach Manny to have options. That's for sure.
And it'd be interesting and almost wrong to see an Austin Aztecs team without Chuy Cortez. Harwell in the middle. Up to Chewy on the left end. There he is. Fight for possession. Taps it over to Gomez. Gomez with it on the left side, trying to find some space for an possible shot. Cortez with it. Taps it to Harwell. Harwell back to Dos Santos. Santos still trying to find his staple on tonight's game of the season. 3 games in, no points yet. And he'll tap it back into midfield all the way back to Marshall Tucker. And they'll tap it all the way back to Perales. 15 minutes gone here in House Park. Still no score. I'd like to remind you that this broadcast is powered by Verizon 4G LTE here on Texas Student Television and simulcasting on 91.7 FM KVRX Austin. Across the middle here, midfield, Aztecs with it. Really both teams sharing the same amount of possession time, it feels like. But the Sockers definitely have a lot more shots on goal here. And an opportunity possibly for the Aztecs. Cito tied up on the other end. Sockers falling down, fighting for the ball, and it's going to roll out of bounds. They'll award it to the Sockers, but my goodness, just tapping all over the place. Almost like a scrum trying to get to that football. Yeah.
Cito's competitive. He loves mixing it up, and that ball was kind of, like you said, in a bit of a scrum, and he ended up fouling the guy just at the end, but good work from him.
Well, only one shot on goal from the Aztecs. Oh, and this one's loosed all the way on the opposite side to Pereira. He can't hold on to it. It's going to go out of bounds, but if he had been able to hold on to that one, that might have been dangerous. Almost green all the way between him and Perales.
Great look from Tucker Hume to switch that ball over the top of Santos, and good for him to track back as well.
Well, Tucker Hume, 9 games played with the Midland Odessa Sockers, 4 goals, 4 assists, 12 points. He wanted to showcase some of his talent, and he's had the opportunity to do that, and he's done that quite well for the Sockers, bringing them back into playoff contention.
Yeah, he's done well. It's pretty much a goal game, especially in kind of a very quick league with not a lot of games. It's all about getting goals quick, and he wants to get one against his home club, if you will.
Do you feel like this is a vengeance game or any time?
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily vengeance. I think both the Humes are very professional. They love this club and this town and everything about it, but you always secretly want to score against the team that you were last on. It just shows you, hey, I should have been your guy because I just put the ball in the back of the net.
Oh, and going after it was freed, and he gets tied up with Tucker Hume. Fans booing, but he is awarded the free kick. And, I mean, even with the news coming for pro next year, you got to know that Walker and Tucker Hume and everybody else on the Odessa Sockers wants a chance to come up and play here in Austin next year.
Yeah, I mean, Austin is the place to be, especially in the USL. I mean, this town's unbelievable. I don't think I've ever heard anyone said that Austin's a bad town, and just the excitement with this team. Yeah, I mean, everyone's vying for a spot. Absolutely. I mean, there's great players all around this PDL Mid-South Division, and so yeah, it'll be good to see maybe Coach Manning explores a couple of those options.
Well, Pereira's with the free kick across the middle, wide open shot, but it is shanked out into the right side, taken by Xavier Fuerte. 1 goal on the season, but just couldn't get the right angle on his foot for that one.
I might have gone into Shoal Creek.
I'm not sure if they give any points for that, but maybe it'll bounce out of Shoal Creek back into the goal. We've got a lot of rain, but we've got some catching up to do. Prowls with it. And he'll just tap it forward over to Freed.
And
Andy Riley.
We've been doing that for years now. Get it at the center back's feet and play. Devin's fantastic on the ball, and so is Travis. So,
and Peralta's back with it. Showcases his leg to the opposite side, trying to get to Cito, but picked up by the Sockers. A nice change of field possession anyway.
That was nearly a 70-yard diagonal ball. That's pretty tough to do.
Stolen away from Harwell. They've got a full-on-4 here. Tapped over to Campbell on the near side. Tries to find some space, taps it over, and it's picked up by the Sockers and trails out of bounds, and it's going to be soccer ball. Kind of redundant whenever I say that, isn't it?
Soccer ball? Yeah.
It is soccer ball, regardless, from their own end. And unfortunately, it's not a goal kick, so they're going to have to throw it in from their own end. So this will be interesting to see.
It's a good time for Austin to push up and squeeze him.
Well, picked up anyway by Fabio Pena. Nice throw into the chest.
Good skill on his end.
Tiptoeing across the sideline, gets it across to Rory Nibbs, and it's tackled away out of bounds by Travis Golden. Quick throw in, a whistle blown. They'll have time to recover as a fan's ball goes out.
I know it's a small point, but it's a good kind of learning thing. Is when you have a team squeezed in, taking a throw in deep, you do not want to let them put the ball down, turn, and being able to advance 50 yards. So. Jeff comes in with a bit of high studs, or sorry, it was Danny, and Midland / Odessa have done a good job of progressing this game, and as we said at the beginning of the game, they're up for it. I mean, they want this win badly, so we've got to kind of raise a little bit of our emotion and put the ball in the back of the net.
Well, the last couple of times that we've seen them play here tonight, the Aztecs, trying to start early has been an issue. It always seems like the other team must score in order to start giving them a little incentive. And here with a free kick from about 30 feet away, it'll be taken by Isaac Sanchez from the left side. He might have an opportunity to put the Sockers in the league. And here, off the left foot, cross the middle, and swinging after it.
Oh, wow.
Picked up in the middle, and just can't get it off. They're going to call an offsides regardless, but coming over, swinging his foot after it was Conrad Goldborn. Just couldn't get it. If he had, that just might have been in the back of the net.
Yeah, he pulled a little change up. You were thinking a big kind of high ball in the back post, and he just kind of knocks it kind of short and near post, and it took everyone by surprise and bounced off a couple legs, and then it was obviously called offside. But yeah, these set pieces are definitely dangerous.
Nibbs in there as well, trying to get after it on a rebound. Just couldn't get after it. Now loose back on the Aztecs end, trying to give the Sockers a scare of their own. Can't. And here's the counter on the left end. Tries to tap it up, and it's a little short to Perez, but he'll pick it up. One-on-one, tries to tap it over, picked up by Harwell. And it'll be booted back into the midfield. Sockers want a foul, but they won't get it.
Oh, great skill.
And Fabio Pena with it, tries to tap it over the head. Cortez does. And Cortez steals it.
Look at Eddie's through.
And Harwell within the middle. And as you said, Eddie Campbell right across the middle. Seemed like if they had been able to get the ball to him, he might have had a shot at it.
Santos needs to step up and get a little bit wider, kind of get up the field a little bit more and use his technique and try to get around Eddie. But yeah, Eddie was wide open there, and I don't know if Chewy didn't see him or just didn't have the kind of space to get that ball through to him. But Eddie's speed, like we've known forever, is just absolutely electrifying. He's absolutely the quickest player on the field, and utilizing that through ball is something we need to do a little bit more.
His speed has always seemed to be tapped down by the offsides rule.
Yeah.
I mean, it feels like a lot of that is concealed behind that. As Cortez with it on the far side. Gets it over to Gomez. Gomez back to Cortez. Working this left corner of the Sockers defense, trying to find some open space, see if they'll cross it. They'll just work a triangle between Cortez and Gomez.
Oh, great technique.
Back over to Campbell in the middle. Oh, a nice little technique. Crossover, gets back on the right side, and it's going to be booted back out of bounds by Isaac Sanchez. It'll remain Aztecs ball. But a nice little triangle formation from Cortez and Harwell and Gomez on the left side, just trying to find some room, possibly get a pass open, and one of them might get a shot at it. But Cito in the middle gets a shot, and it's going to go wide.
Gorgeous from Jeff. He's got a lot of time. For whatever reason, they're not picking him up too much. He dropped back there, got the ball, good turn. Cito comes off the center back, great quick turn, and just has a good shot. And why not? I mean, that's what you have to ask yourself. Why not just take a shot from there? Test the keeper. I don't think we've tested him too much at all today. I don't think there's even been a kind of shot on target, or if that, maybe one. So, yeah, you've absolutely got to test the keeper, make him get some saves.
Well, 2 shots tonight, no on target yet, but I mean, if you feel like you've got an opportunity to pull the trigger, Cito felt like he had that. Tapped back into the Aztecs way. Campbell with it, crosses across the middle, and the Sockers will pick up the ball. Oh, and then deflected pass results in an Aztecs possession again.
I'd love to see Jeff pick up the ball more. Jeff Harwell, he's a great player, great technique. And I know Eddie tried to make that huge switch there. That's always going to be picked off. Give the ball to Jeff. Let him collect more. Let him turn and let him get more people involved. You saw what he did when he had the ball last time. He was able to set up Cito. He's a player that's gonna help others out. So let's try to get him the ball more. He's got to kind of pick it up, because Danny Freed's in there to just be a fantastic passer and a fantastic defensive muncher, if you will. Harwell's in there to kind of be a little bit more forward-thinking, a little bit more creative, have a little bit of that magic, get in those holes and slip Eddie, slip Cito, slip Chewy. So you've got to see Jeff collect a little bit more.
Well, now the Sockers with an opportunity on the opposite end. It's going to roll out of bounds. Aztecs ball paralysis will have it on the goal side. 25 minutes gone here in House Park. Still no score. 20 minutes away from halftime. No real breaks in play so far, so not much extra time to be added as of yet. But the Aztecs, for the most part of the past 6 minutes, have been on the opposite side of the field. Maintaining possession, applying pressure. Cito gets a shot off, but nothing yet. But Mike, you said Dos Santos here in this game a little timid playing so far. A lot of his passes have been backwards, just trying to be real conservative about his play. From his end, is there anything else that he should probably improve on?
No, I think he's been pretty well, actually. Played pretty well. I think. Ooh, that's a bit of an intense challenge.
Tripped up is Gomez, and they're going to call foul and resume play immediately. Back over to Dos Santos here on the back end.
Yeah, and see, he's making good passes. I mean, that's what you want. Giving the ball to Jeff and getting wide. Pretty much the rule of thumb for a wingback, especially in this formation, is you want to be high and wide on offense, and on defense you want to pinch back in and help out, especially with their wingers and just the offsides line. So I'd like to see him a little bit higher, and I'd like to see Eddie pinch in a little bit more so Santos could get around him. But Eddie's staying pretty high and wide as well, so Santos is kind of stuck of, do I go forward or do I sit?
Oh, and a pass all the way in the top right corner. Eddie Campbell trying to get after it, but it's going to be picked up.
Oh, great header, Jeff.
Jeff gets it back. Cito with it. Left foot wide.
And again, it's those small plays that Jeff does. You wouldn't be rewarded too much there, but seeing it from our view, he steps up. There's a midfielder running at him very quickly. He's able to get a good header to Eddie, who gets a great quick ball to Cito. And Cito's he's been dangerous. His shots have been a little bit wide, but he's got the technique to get some velocity on it. And if he just gets a bit more space, we've seen what he can do.
Well, that was the same type of triangle formation between Campbell, Cito, and Jeff Harwell. Almost resulted in a nice shot for Cito. That might have resulted in a goal. And now chasing after it, over to it is Nibs, takes a right shot and into the back of the net. goal for the Sockers.
Yep.
And they lead here in House Park after 3 shots on goal. One finally went in. Rory Nibbs with his 6th goal of the season.
I like that player. Same exact goal pretty much as last time, Brooks, when we were here calling this game a month ago or so. Rory Nibbs has electrifying speed, and I don't think people account for it. He's able to slip through, Travis and Tucker there, and there's just not a lot of communication. You see Danny having to talk with whose guy was that. He's able to slip around them and put it in the back of the net. And when you have a quick forward, I wasn't the quickest center back, but what you've got to do is be accountable. You've always got to be checking him. It's either me marking him or you marking him, your other center back, and you've got to talk. So that's unfortunate, but again, Midland Odessa is dangerous. They can put balls in the back of the net, which we've seen, and they're playing for playoffs. So we've got to step up a little bit. We've got to be a bit more copped on.
And what a beautiful pass led up for Nibbs to just get up there and take that shot freely. And the Aztecs trying to tie this one up. We spoke about it earlier. Sometimes it takes an opponent's goal in order to start things for the Aztecs emotionally and attacking. So we'll see how that results.
Yeah, and it calls for a fun game to call, but it happens every time, doesn't it? At least that's what it looks like. It looks like we kind of let our foot off the gas a little bit, and they always get a goal, and then we all say to ourselves, guys, this is, we're the Aztecs. This is our home field. Let's snap out of it. But Midland Odessa looks serious tonight, and we've really got to step up our game here.
And Chewy running all over the place, gets a chance to steal, but it's stolen right back away from him and led too far, and the Aztecs maintain possession. Marshall Tucker with it now, tapped up to Cortez, and he'll get it back to Golden.
That's a fantastic touch.
Into the middle now. Loosed over to Campbell. Can he maintain possession? No, off the head, and it's going to go right to Babayak. .29 minutes gone here in the first half. Sockers lead it 1-0. The Aztecs, although this game doesn't mean anything for their playoffs, still number 1 in the Mid-South, still ahead of the Ocala Stampede. They obviously do not want to see a team that's beaten them on their home field in the late playoff in the late regular season at some point in the playoffs, especially a rival like Midland Odessa.
Yeah. Austin's already clinched first by a long shot and has done fantastic.
Oh, and a free kick taken, headed up by Dos Santos. Almost a costly mistake as Nibbs was coming over and almost put that in the back of the neck for the second goal.
Yeah, but like I said, again, it doesn't really mean too much on the point board, if you will, like the early games of the season. But these are games you want to win. You don't want to have losses going into playoffs ever.
And that one's for the fans, kicked into the stands from the Sockers. It'll be Aztecs throw in at about the 30-yard line. Dos Santos will take this one, throws it into Danny Freed, and he can't hold on to it. Taken away from Pereiras. Now slide over from Freed, and they're going to call a foul on that. No card awarded. And they're arguing their point. Came from behind, slid down and tripped up Pereiras. But they'll just be awarded a free kick taken by Hume. Right over on the left side to his brother.
Yeah.
Tucker taps it back, but it's stolen away from Campbell and blocked out of bounds. Well, they've kept this game going. The officials here, especially after that slide tackle from the back that almost looked surely like a card. And across in the middle, stolen away by the Aztecs.
Great job.
Santos lets the fan see his leg all the way back, and it's picked up by Babayak. But aside from Cito's shot on goal about 10 minutes ago, they really have not had much offensive output for this entire half.
No, it's been a little bit of a kind of a battle back and forth with this team, and really we haven't been able to kind of come into our own.
Nibbs with it on the left end, crossed over to Hume, stolen away, but it's back over to Nibbs on the left end. Tries to cross it across the middle, headed up with it is Hume, and he just has a wide open tap but can't get to it.
My goodness, you couldn't have had a more wide open shot. He could have put it down and pretty much actually walked into the goal. Devin had committed and had gone over his head, and I don't know if it was panic or he wanted to take it quick, but I mean, that was, you could even hear the gasp from the fans. And when they're not going for Austin, that was so wide open. But
Tucker Hume took a 15-foot pitch and wedged it and out into the lake 20 yards away. Oh, my.
Yep, just went side-footed it, and I think he just got under it. Again, especially with this AstroTurf bouncing, I've had my fair share of mistakes on it. It pops up, and you can get under it, and just got away from him. He's going to want that one back, because it's those moments in the game where if Austin comes back and wins this game or ties it or whatever, we might be looking at ourselves in an hour or so and said, Tucker had a clear opportunity that he pretty much squandered, earlier in the game. So that's how the game goes, though. You've got to take your opportunity. Rory did a fantastic job, Rory Nibbs, of just being clinical when he broke through. Tucker not so much, but he's banging on the door, which is always frightening for Austin, and that could have been 2-0 down. So let's see how Austin responds.
Well, the quick reaction was necessary, as that came up on us quick. And I don't even think he even realized how open that shot was, as this one goes over Campbell's head into the back right corner. It'll be awarded to the Sockers, and Babayak will get a shot again to change field possession. 33 minutes gone here in House Park. Sockers lead it 1-0. Aztecs very happy that it is not 2-0, as Tucker Hume had a wide open shot that went 20 feet over. Hard bouncer coming off the AstroTurf, as you said, Ross.
Yeah. Absolutely.
This one moves into the middle. Fighting for possession is Nibbs. A nice, beautiful shot down the left sideline, picked up from Pereira's on the opposite end. Across middle, and Reed picks it up. And it'll be defended by the Aztecs. Blocked all the way back to midfield, changing possession all the way to the opposite side. And Pena will just kick down as far as he can. Looked like it was going out of bounds, but doesn't. Harwell up with it. They'll call a foul on Fabio Pena, who came in and almost undertook him as he was jumping up for a header. Campbell going after it. They'll call a foul on Isaac Sanchez. A little incidental holding. Drags him down at about the 30. Free kick for the Aztecs. Perhaps this will be the opportunity that they'll have to possibly get a shot open. Both Harwell and Cito. Now Harwell will take off towards the middle. Cito will be taking this one from the right side. Does he go after the goal here, or is he trying maybe slow play it, give it to another player and try and hit this one?
No, he hits it back post for a header.
And back post, almost a header, but it's punched away.
Oh!
And they think that it's almost going towards their side.
Oh, what's going on here?
They think that there's
offside.
A little problem here.
They're saying it's offside, saying one of our players was, after the deflection, was offside and then checked back on and didn't get away with it. Jeff had a swing and a miss there. Ball popped out to him. He actually scored a goal last time, something like that. But again, with this turf and the way it bounces, this isn't grass. It plays a little bit different. You'll get shots that are more on the half volley, which is great for the power you can get on them. But it's also a bit tough the way they bounce and the way they, sometimes you all of a sudden have hit it with your shin. Well,
that ball had a little picnic for about 4 seconds at about the 10-yard line, waiting for somebody to come after it.
Yeah, waiting for someone to eat it, but.
And Babayak kicks it into the middle. Aztecs trying to get back possession on it. About 9 minutes to halftime here. Campbell with it, trying to head it. It goes out of bounds, but stays Aztecs ball. Contested by Isaac Sanchez. Throw in will be taken by Dos Santos as they shift over to the right. Thrown back to Marshall Tucker. And he gets it back into Golden. Golden, the only man standing between.
We've got to open up for him there. You see Marshall Tucker saying, "Where are you guys?" He had to go back to Devin, which is fine, but you really want to be trying to keep it and go forward here.
Well, he tried to go forward there to Campbell, but it gets kicked back to him. He tries to maintain possession. Nibs coming after it like a wild animal, and it's booted off of him out of bounds. The Aztecs will get another shot.
I gotta love Rory Nibs' work ethic. I mean, he's got a goal, and when you always have a goal, you're foaming to get another one because you feel it. You've already scored, the pressure's off you, and he's just, look at that, gets the ball again.
A nice steal from him, swings it back up in the opposite field, but the Aztecs will get the ball back. Freed with it to the opposite side to Golden. Crosses half field and tries to get it up to Harwell, but he wants a foul, but the Sockers get a ball on it and kick it back into midfield. Back up to Freed. Freed taps it to Cortez on the left side. Over the middle, Harwell just saw an opportunity, but it's quickly closed on by the Sockers. And they'll steal this one. Pereira's at midfield. Trying to find a spot over on the left side. Does he get a shot on goal here? Right on left. Shot and wide.
Great job from Tucker at the end to not allow that. But, man, Pereira nearly took that ball at the half field and truthfully just got stopped at the 6. I mean, that was a good run. And if Tucker doesn't get his foot across there, then that was a horrible defending from our part. And the fact he was able to kind of maneuver through two of our guys easily. But well done from Tucker to track back and stick up that long leg and make sure that ball went out for a corner.
Well, Perez will get the corner here. Kent cross the middle. Punched out. Headed back in from Brock. Still on it over. Campbell with it now. He'll shut the door on this opportunity. Down to Dos Santos.
And good job from Dos Santos to step up. I like the way he's keep going forward. That's what you need. You want a player as an outside back to keep bombing on.
Well, let's see what Gomez can do. Taps it up to Cortez. Cortez backing into the middle, and he gets bowled over trying to get it forward, and he'll be awarded a foul against Xavier Fuerte. It was right in his face the entire time. Almost like a sack on a quarterback releasing the ball.
Chewy is so skillful and so small. I don't think I've ever seen a game where he doesn't get thrown down. It's just part of the game. It's understood. You know, he's just too quick, and he's too skillful. You know, but I love Chewy doesn't say anything all game. He's the quietest guy out there. He hangs out on that left flank, and then all of a sudden he puts the ball in the back of the net. So, you know, just an unbelievable player and just such a strong work ethic. And again, he'll get munched every game or so, but you don't hear anything from him. He just keeps going.
Well, Harwell with it after the free kick, and it's going to be lost by Cortez out of bounds. Sockers will have a chance here with 5 minutes left, 40 minutes gone here in the first half. Sockers possibly getting some insurance on their 1-0 lead. With possession now on the Aztecs end. Tanner Brock with it. Room to run. Taps it over to Pereira's on the near side. Oh, and he falls over trying to cross over Campbell. Campbell coming after it. And Pereira's wants a foul as he falls down. It goes out of bounds for the Aztecs, but he's not going to get it. Throw in.
Yeah, ref's doing a good job of letting him play. Good job from Eddie to, that's normally, you know, not his cup of tea, if you will, to get back and be a strong defender, but he tracked back and he played that pretty well.
Harwell trying to thread a needle over to Cortez, but it's picked off. Now an opportunity from Tucker Hume on the right side.
Oh,
nice tackle from Golden. Taking the ball right from under his feet. Harwell with it. Gomez. Cito with it on left end. Oh, just a little wide to Cortez, who was racing over to the left corner, just a few feet behind him, and rolls out of bounds.
Yeah, you see that a lot in games. That's the, you know, you play it behind him, and all of a sudden he's running forward, or maybe you play it a through ball and he wanted to check it. It's just, you know.
But Tucker Hume felt like he had a shot on goal upcoming, and that tackle from Golden just took all of the excitement away.
Golden just sticks out his leg, and Tucker's such a big boy that he gets clipped and I think slides about 5 yards. That was pretty. It's pretty cool to see.
Well, he's certainly gotten more familiar with his old home turf.
Yeah.
As the Aztecs on the Sockers end, trying to get some work done. 3 minutes till 45. Pending extra time, and then I'll kick it back to Perales to reset the offense. Tapped up to Marshall Tucker. Opposite side to Golden. Up to midfield to Gomez, and it's booted away by Goldborn.
Oh, that's a good ball. It needed to be a little bit longer. Great tackle by Tucker.
Harwell with it. Out of Dos Santos. Back to Harwell to midfield. Chasing after is Pereira's. Nice little circle. Does Harwell take, and he'll tap it over to Dos Santos. Back to Dos Santos. 43 minutes. Nice little lead. Oh, a beautiful pass from Gomez. And Cito tried to lead over to Cortez, but it's stolen away from Fabio Pena.
Great one, too. Gomez, Cito. Chewy was running on the left wing and just needed a little bit of a higher ball to get over that Midland defender.
And Cortez, nice pass on the opposite side to Campbell.
See, I'd love to see Santos take this and Eddie step out. Yeah, there you go. The outside back should always take throw-ins and get your winger, to get in this position. Santos is a good player. I'd love to see him higher up the field with the ball, especially, with our two big boys in the back.
Well, throw in, taken from Dos Santos. Freed with it now in the middle. Gomez.
It's a good switch.
Flip to the opposite side. Golden. Ball post, header, wide.
Oh, it's a great ball. Eddie, good header. No one was in the 6. It could have been an absolute tap-in. That's all I was asking for. And then the counter pursues. Good header by Tucker, but that's how it's going to be all night because we have to push forward now.
Off the left temple of Campbell, just a little wide. A beautiful pass from Golden, about 60 feet away. That's all you can ask for is an opportunity, and with 44 minutes, they're running out of time in the first half.
Oh, great tackle there.
Gomez with it now. Into the soccer's end. Campbell fighting for possession. Finds a free space in the middle. Tapped up and just didn't see the soccer's defenders. He was trying to lead it over to Cito. Cito looks down in disgust as that happened. So that man is not transparent. Gomez back with the ball, up to Cito. And Campbell gets pushed down, and you're right, Ross. Foul there awarded to him. Free kick coming. And Campbell does not look comfortable at all, writhing in pain, grasping his lower back.
Yeah, I think he got a bit of a whack, trying to give a quick touch. That's what happens a lot of times when you have your back to a player. But this is good to see. I mean, Cito's exactly what, 30 yards out. Does he go for a shot? He's got the ability to do that. It's a little bit far, but again, not too far. Or does he kind of whip it in with a little floater back post?
Well, it almost worked last time.
Yeah, I think he goes for a shot here. He's kind of lining up to do so.
Well, he does take a shot here, and it goes right into the chest of Jason Babayak.
Yeah, and you're right. That we spoke about it before the game. Keeper's been great for Midland. He's a tall kid. He kicks well with both feet. He's been able to kind of grab everything Cito's been throwing at him this game.
Well, Jason Babayak of McNeil High School, not too far from this stadium here.
No.
Has shut out the Aztecs.
I've heard some good things about McNeil as a soccer school, so that makes sense.
We have reached the 45-minute mark, extra time. 3 minutes. Actually 1 minute here, and that's the half. So the Sockers get the first goal and the first lead and lead it here 1-0. The Aztecs are going to have to go in the locker room, try and figure things out. They've had a couple of chances closing out in this half to try and tie it up, but have not been able to capitalize. Campbell with the most recent opportunity tries to head it in, but certainly will be something interesting to see. What do you think we'll hear from Botello for halftime if you're an Aztecs player?
Yeah, I don't think Coach Manning would be too happy or too upset. It's kind of one of those middle of the roads. We've competed well. We've kept the ball for good spells at times. But at the same point, Coach Manning wants to win. He's a winner, and so is this organization. And we really haven't got enough shots on on goal. I think that's how we always play in the first half. But, you know, apart from Cito with 1 or 2 shots on goal, all the rest of them have gone wide. There's been a couple good opportunities when we're in and around the box on corners, or Eddie's, header that he put back into the mix. But nothing's really kind of tested keeper Jason on like maybe a low dive or something where he's had to come out. Nothing really that kind of intense. So I think it's just kind of an average game, but we've seen this. We're down a goal. A bit of a poor play from our center halves, lack of communication, who's able to slip around. But again, that's how the game goes. I was a center back. You're going to get scored on. The player's going to peel away. That's just how it goes. But they've done well to keep it only at a goal, because Tucker should have had one. Devin had some great stops. So I don't think Coach Manny's that upset. I think he's happy with Devin. I think he's happy with a couple other players. Jeff's been promising at times, but I still think no one's come into their full out of shell yet in this game. We haven't seen anything electrifying like we normally do. We haven't seen anyone turn the corner. We haven't seen, great 1-2s and shots. We've seen tiny spells of it, but we haven't seen the full product. Chewy hasn't been as evolved as you'd like. Jeff, I've said, is a fantastic player, but hasn't got as many touches as you want to. I think it's just, nothing to be mad at or nothing to be too happy at. It's just, hey, we're even keeled right now. Let's kind of turn it up a couple notches and go for it.
Well, they'll get a chance to do that after halftime, and we'll have more on the halftime show here on Texas Student TV and KVRX 91.7 FM.
Also it's important to see is who will be the substitutions. Especially everyone's kind of playing for some, opting for some playing time. You see the guys warming up now. Love to see Cruz come on. Bubba's always huge. Adam Black's there, who was a starter at the beginning of the year, who's got an absolutely great left foot. You got Alessi. We'll see who kind of comes on and maybe changes the game and puts one in the back of the net.
And we will see after we take a quick break here on Texas Student Television and KVRX 91.7 FM here on the halftime show. Sockers lead it 1-0. See if the Aztecs come back through. We'll see you in a few.
Aztex Airlines would like to congratulate the winner of tonight's halftime promotion. Furthest thrown airplanes in the center of the circle. Congratulations to Asher Price, the winner of tonight's Aztex and Airmar. Promotion 2 round-trip tickets to Mexico City.
Welcome back to the halftime show here on Texas Student TV and KVRX 91.7 FM. Austin Aztecs trail the Midland Odessa Sockers 1-0. We're talking a little bit about how the Aztecs had some shots on goal towards the end, but really Odessa's been able to do a lot more. Gets the shots, gets open opportunities, and they've been able to put it in the back of the net. It's just been that simple so far.
Yeah, like the old saying, Coach Paul Dalglish used to say, hard work beats talent unless talent works hard. Obviously, Austin has the most talented team, I'd say, in the entire nation, being a reigning champion, but you've got to get after it. Midland Odessa's done fantastic of just winning tackles, winning 50-50s, as you call it. That's a huge part of soccer. It's winning 50-50s, beating your man, getting aggressive. Truthfully, it should be maybe 2-0 up this game. But as you see in soccer, Tucker misses that chance. Tucker Hume, we're still in it. The second half always is pretty favorable for Austin. The game spreads out. We're able to bring in some subs, and we're able to use our speed. So I think the second game, hope to see a goal from us,
right.
Or two.
And what do you do offensively? I mean, they've had 2 shots on goal, albeit they weren't on target. They started having a little bit of triangular opportunities, trying to get it back forward, try to get an open shot. Is that what we're going to see more of, or what would you do to make an adjustment here to try and get some more opportunities?
Yeah, well, I think sometimes in the half, the game goes on, and as a coach, you just want to get them in the half sometimes and just recharge the batteries, get in there, get your hydration. It's hot out here, it's sticky. Take the shirt off, wring it out a little bit, talk to your team. Maybe the attacking front, Chewy, Cito, Jeff, Eddie, maybe they all sit down and say, hey, what do we want to see? Do we want to see more overlaps from our outside backs? Do we want to see more crosses? Maybe get it into Cito's feet a little bit earlier so he's able to turn and slip those balls. I mean, it's not like anything needs to be a drastic change. It's nothing like that. We've been competitive. It's just the small things. It's the final third, really, where it's like, where should we put the ball? What do we need to do? And I think Coach Manny and Zach Pope are going to have kind of some conversations, and they're obviously going to get refueled and recharged and just kind of work it out. Hey, where do you want me to go? Do you want me to do more diagonal runs, or do you want me to stay in the box? And so nothing needs to be changed, more drastically, like I keep saying. It just needs to be, a little bit of a better 1-2 in the final third and just a little bit more composure. We've seen small bits of it. We just haven't seen the full kind of finished product where we have a couple, like you said, that third man run of the triangle and put the ball in the back of the net.
Right, and I think the closest shot was not the Campbell header or the Cito shot from the middle, but the nice little scuffle across the middle where they had a nice couple of passes that were threading the needle just to get an open opportunity. Although no one got a foot on it, that's the kind of opportunity you're talking about.
Yeah, you're exactly right. That chance might have even been better than a kind of a shot that goes 7 yards wide. That pretty soccer where it's 1, 2, 3, and all of a sudden the other team doesn't even know what's hit him, and Chewy's back post with a one-on-one chance, and he can finish those. So you're right. It's those. That's what you want to see more. The shots from 25 yards out that somewhat test the keeper, that's decent. That keeps the keeper honest, keeps the back line honest. But is that really going to get in the back of the goal? Maybe once in a while. You really score most of your goals in and around the 18 and in and around the 6. So it's the 1-2 combos. It's the getting those big boys out, especially Walker Hume, who's a fantastic center back. It's getting those big center backs out, playing around them, and getting a shot in the 18.
And the 2 players that we mentioned before the broadcast, the highlighters, well, they've come out. Jason Bobiak has played a tremendous game, keeping the Aztecs at no goals throughout the first half, and Cortez seems to be getting some things together. So, there are things that can be improved on both sides, but a tremendous pass for the Sockers is really the difference.
Yeah.
Even the wide open opportunity for Tucker, the Aztecs could be looking at a 2 deficit in this game. So whenever it comes down to it, they've got a lot of things to adjust toward in the second half.
This sport is all about taking your chances, right? You can have a million chances, but it's just getting the ball in the back of the net. Rory Nibbs did a great job, and he did it last time he was on this soil, of just getting in front of the back, or getting behind the back line and putting it past the keeper. And so, like I said, the 2 people to watch, obviously their keeper and our Chewy. Chewy normally gets to get going at the second half, which we've seen. He ends up scoring the late dramatic winner, so let's see if he's got something up his sleeve again. It's almost cute for him to do the exact same thing, isn't it? And their keeper's going to, when you're a keeper and you shut out the Aztecs at halftime, you're pumped. You're going to keep that thing rolling. You don't want any goals. So it's going to be a very competitive second half, and I want to see how it opens up, and you'll see a lot more chances this half because, again, we have to push forward because we don't play for a loss or a tie, and they've got a great opportunity to beat us on the counter. So we'll see how it goes.
And even though these 2 games don't matter for the Austin Aztecs in terms of playoffs, do you think that changes anything that we'll see in the second half from them?
No, I think quite the contrary. Even though it technically doesn't matter via points, it matters. It matters for Coach Manny. It matters for this organization. It matters for the fans. Even when Paul was here, he made sure we knew. Coach Paul Dalglish would get more mad at us at halftime if we were winning by a lot, or he'd get more mad after the games if we won than he would after a loss. He'd almost say, hey, even though we won 3-0, this is the coaching point. You should have done this, and this better. Sometimes if we lost, it's like, hey, guys, it's kind of the opposite. He kind of picked us up then. So I know Coach Manny, it's we don't want to just coast and want to win, because there's only 2 games left in the season, and then it's completely live. Right. You don't want to be losing these games and getting a bad taste in your mouth and having that mental edge if we go to playoffs of, hey, Midland can beat us.
Right. And that's not something that you want between rivals, and even going to the playoffs. We might see them again. But that's what's happening on the field. Off the field tonight, nice little crowd shows up for the Austin Aztecs. Full on the home side. Some trickled even in here on the visitors' side. And, you know, with the World Cup coming around, it seems like soccer seems to be at an all-time high in popularity.
It's fantastic. We've got a great band playing in the background. Sun set over Austin. The heat's kind of gone. We've got both sides here pretty much filling up. It's an exciting time. You know, the World Cup Finals is Sunday. You know, the third place game tomorrow. It's a great time to be an Aztecs fan, and this environment. And the reason they wanted to keep it at House Park is it's electric. It's right on top of the field. You get a really good cultural feel with it. You can see the game great from every seat. So no, the environment's great. The environment's great tonight.
And the Aztecs also hosted a watch party for the USA Belgium game a few weeks ago, and the success from that leads to the popularity for their hometown team as well. So, I mean, this organization moving forward, going pro next season, you know, do you think it's necessary for the team to go through and have a repeat of last year and have a national championship in order to maintain popularity in the city?
Well, I think it'd be fantastic. I think the great thing about the sport of this city is the product on the field has been great from day one. I mean, from when the PDL came back, we went to the regional finals. The year after, we win the PDL championship. And then this year, we are steamrolling and doing everything great. So, of course, it's great. You know, fans want to come out. They want to see a winning team. They want to have a winning team that they're proud of. You know, it'd be a whole different story if we lost every game, right? The energy's good here. Everything's run professionally from the back-end staff to the on-the-field products. So, no, of course. Do we need to win another PDL championship for the fans to remain? No, I don't think so. I mean, the organization's going to be pro next year, however, where we finish out. But you want to be a winner, and that's what we want. And we've always wanted to be a next step ahead. We've always wanted to win the PDL. That's our goal. We want to win the PDL next year again. And, you know, mark my words, when we're in the USL, we want to win that. You know, we're not going up there to just kind of coast around and have fun. We're going up there to win. And then our goal is to go to the MLS. That's why I love this town. It's progressive. We're thinking forward. We've got the best, you know, team in the PDL, and it's awesome playing for a team where you're supposed to win every game. That's fun. Believe me, that might sound daunting to other people or other organizations, but you would rather be in a place where you're expected to win and you have the players and the philosophy and the tactical kind of wherewithal to do that. So, yeah, absolutely.
Brooks Gavina here with Ross Kelly here at the halftime show. 9 minutes to go before the second half. And we talked about the national championship, a possible repeat for the Austin Aztecs, but there's going to be a road going to that. And if they do maintain, they'll play the Oklahoma Stampede. Just in that relationship, the Austin Aztecs have played, you know, close to their division, in South. They've played, you know, all the teams within that. They haven't really seen anybody outside. Right. So how do you think that transition is going to be whenever they go out and play the top seed from another conference?
Yeah, and that's why it's always a pretty interesting game, because think about it. We get used to these kind of teams. We get used to seeing them a couple times. You know, we play them more than once or twice, even for that matter. And when you play these teams from other divisions, it's only one shot. It's not like a best of 2 or best of 3, or it's not a bye situation. It's you get out and you play them once and it's win or go home. So, yeah, it's always interesting. No matter how good or bad a team is, when they get to the next round, the teams that they've placed, it's going to be different. You don't know how they're going to throw it at you, and we've just got to do our best job to be prepared. So really, what's great about our team and our organization is, truthfully, and this isn't saying it in a cocky or a narcissistic approach, it doesn't matter who the Aztecs play. It matters how we put the ball down and how we play. And if we play our game like happened last year and the year before, we will win. And so it's been implemented in us time and time out. You're not just playing for a win. Right. Never are. I mean, Coach Paul would make sure of that. Coach Manny would make sure of that. He was in the old organization as well, and this one. You're playing to stay on the field. You're playing to not just win 1-0, to win more and more and more, and play better and better and better. It's not just Aztecs aren't content with squeezing out a 1-0 win. You know, we're content with playing better. And if you should have done that, you should have played better. For instance, Germany the other day, they win 7-1 against Brazil. they get a goal scored in the last minute, and the professionalism for the Germans is incredible because you've got Schweinsteiger and someone else screaming at a player for for taking his foot off the gas and letting Oscar come behind him. And that's what any organization wants to implement. You want to implement that professionalism here where you keep going. You keep going. It's not just okay to win a certain amount. You want to win as best as possible, and you want to win and play to the last blow of the whistle.
Satisfaction doesn't come until the final whistle.
Absolutely. You got to keep playing till the fat lady sings and until the game is absolutely done, because we've seen games, where Chewy scored in the last seconds of a game, and so we'll see what happens tonight.
Well, after the regular season ends next Thursday, as the Austin Aztecs host the Houston Dutch Lions to close out the season, they will play the Ocala Stampede in a 3-game series on July 25th to the 27th for the Southern Conference Championship. So that little series there, how important is it for them to win that top seed and get into the playoffs? If they lose that series, is that the end-all, be-all? Because they've been traveling a lot. They like to play at home. Obviously, you'd like to see people come to Austin and see the growth here. But how influential would it be to lose that game, that series?
Well, home court advantage is huge. I remember 2 years ago when I was, in the team, we had to go to Florida, and just dealing with the travel and dealing with the heat and the different field and all that is tough. We hosted pretty much everything here last year. Teams came from all over the country and played here, and we were used to our field. We were used to our pitch. We knew how quick it played. We knew how to get around people. We just knew the small things you really can't even talk about or preach. We knew the intangibles. We knew the locker room. We knew that type of small stuff, and I know it sounds silly, but it helps a huge amount. So, home field advantage is great. And when we have our fans behind us, it was almost written in the script we were going to win this thing when we were going to host it. Our fans are here. Our organization is top-notch. You just get a bit more fired up. And you see it pretty much in any facet of sport. Playing at an away stadium is always going to be a bit tougher. So, yeah, it is important to clinch home field. Absolutely.
So what would it be like on the road? You mentioned it's kind of like playing in somebody else's field. Do you think Ocala or anybody else in this league, you mentioned that the Aztecs it's a team looking forward, is that the same kind of environment that you'd see somewhere else, or what would that be like?
Yeah, again, when we went to Ocala actually 2 years ago, we did go up there. And, again, by the way, Ocala, the visitors and the fans, and the way they set it up, they were so professional and so nice. But I just mean, not in terms of professionalism and how nice the people are when you're there, just the pitch. The pitch is a bit slower. The grass is maybe a little bit longer at a different place or what you're used to. Maybe you don't have a good meal before the game, or as much as possible. One of those kind of balls that hang up there are always going to be kind of a wasted opportunity.
And Sawyer with it in the middle. Freed with it now. Back to Golden in the defensive side, trying to get some space here. They got to work quickly here. 67 minutes, down 2-0. Cortez on the sideline, back in to Golden. Cortez with it in the middle. Back into the right side with Golden. Trying to find some space. Cortez with it now. That's a nice little angle on. And Buba with the shot left side. Wide.
I don't know if it was a shot or a cross, but he had good speed on him. And if anyone's running in the box, could have been a tap-in for Buba's kind of shot cross there.
Well, it'll be a throw-in for the Sockers.
Really coming on. I've been impressed. I haven't seen him in a couple of weeks, and he's aggressive, he's forward thinking, and God, the ball was bouncing. He takes it off the half volley, and it was absolutely nearly a screamer that could have gone top corner. Goes a little bit wide, but he's come on and he's changed the pace of the game. That's what you wanted to see. You know, for whatever reason, Cito's a fantastic player, but I don't know if we weren't been able to get it to him or it was just a tough half, but he wasn't able to really shine, and Budas came in, and that's what you want to do as a sub, is change the game and be aggressive and be forward thinking. And so good job. He's had 2 shots there in about a minute's time.
And Buba after it, chasing with his head. Opportunity taken away from the Sockers back into midfield. And thank you for joining us once again here at House Park. Sockers up 2-0 against the Aztecs in the 69th minute. Apologies for technical difficulties on the KVRX 917 FM feed. Thanks for joining with us and sticking around for the finality. We'll see if the Aztecs are able to come back into this one. Brooks Cabina here alongside Ross Kelly. And player down for the Sockers, Isaac Sanchez. And he seems to be okay coming back up on it. 70th minute. They've had their opportunities. Buba coming in on the right side. He's been a nice substitution, giving them the opportunity they possibly need. But, man, have opportunities just been thwarted away from the Sockers' defense. They've stepped up quite nicely.
Yeah, they sure have. You know, they've done well. Listen, it's 70 minutes into the game, and they're 2-0 up, and, you know, they're buzzing. They're thinking to themselves, you never want that first goal to go, because if Midland gives up their first goal, they could easily get a second. So they're
Campbell has had an opportunity across the middle, and he's got tripped up by Walker Hume, and he's going to be awarded a yellow card. So yellow cards to both sides. And, you know, it felt like Campbell had a wide open shot. Buba had an open shot and maybe getting past him, and that might have led to a goal there.
Yeah, he's a quick player. He was pushing it right past Walker. Walker's kind of a big boy like myself, and if you're just a step late, it wasn't a malicious foul, but he was just too much of a step late, and yeah, it's definitely a yellow card.
Cortez will take the free kick from midfield.
There's so much space around the side of the wall. It'd be great to see Chewy play a little small pass maybe to Buba running across, but I don't know. He looks like he's winding up to shoot, but it looks a little bit kind of out of his. I don't want to say out of his range. He's only about 30 out, but I don't know what he does here. Let's see.
He's got a straight shot here from the middle of the field. As you said, about 60 feet away from goal.
Keeper does an interesting approach. He's about 3 yards off his line. I don't know why that is. I think he's probably thinking that it's going to be a chip in the box so he can kind of quickly get to it. But, you know, if you've got enough technique to kind of bend it high and around him, he definitely stays off his line.
Well, the free kick from Cortez right into the middle, takes the shot, but it's wide.
Yeah, kind of a low-driven shot, which is a good idea.
Morales, Babayak got a fingertip on that as it went out of bounds. It will be a corner kick from the left side from Cortez. He'll try it again here. Back post, headed away from Hume. And picked up by Freed chasing over on the left end. Back in the middle, straight shot over to Babayak. He'll just clamp on that one, fall to the ground.
Good idea by France to track that down and put the ball in the box, but just went a bit too close to the keeper, so easy pickup.
And Sockers go all the way across the end. Oh, just an unthought of play from Golden, trying to head it back to Perales. And Pereira was waiting for it there and almost had the third goal of the night. Almost a huge mistake. They're going to call interference in between Ricardo Yavarino and Perales regardless. And Perales will have his chance to change field position. And that'll be the end for Justin Franz. And Adam Black will come on for him.
No, not Justin. He's just going over there to talk to Coach Mann. It looks like Danny Freed came off.
Adam Black comes in. And into the right corner is Eddie Campbell. Tries to get a cross away, but it's going to go out of bounds.
They're just missing that missing link tonight, you know, just a little bit. We get a good corner out of it, which is good, but there just seems to be, you know, Midland Odessa has our number, it looks like, tonight, unless anything changes. But, you know, time's kind of winding down. You can see that they're definitely trying to hold on for this game. You know, their farthest player is 25, 30 yards from the half field line.
Corner kick, back post. Cortez chasing after on the left end. Gets a hold of it. Tries to shimmy his way past the defender, but can't do it. Blocked away.
Oh, man, that was a bad mistake by Chewy. Gold giving up a breakaway.
Goldburn with it. Taps it up into Yavarino. Back to Goldburn. Tries to get it up into more field position to no one. And Franz will come over to it and pass it back to Perales. But great defense from Goldburn on one-on-one with Cortez on that left corner, just to sneak it away and get an opportunity of a breakaway there. 74 minutes gone here in House Park. Soccer still with a 2-0 lead. Aztecs need to get something going. That in. Perales will scoop this one up as a little pass. It was a little too far behind his intended target. And Franz with it. Loses in on a turnover to Tucker Hume. Sockers with possession again. Tanner Brock with it. Right into the middle of the field. Goes out left. Tries to lead his pass and gets it to Pereira in the left corner. See what he can do. Oh, he falls over. Wants a foul. But Chewy Cortez contested that quite well. Excuse me, Adam Black with it in the middle. Back into Justin Franz to Black. Black is the leading scorer for the Aztecs with 6 goals. And he leads Eddie Campbell just a bit too far on the opposite side of the field. And the Sockers will get possession back.
Yeah, and I don't know why he didn't start. I think maybe Coach Manny was going for a different lineup or different change or the rest of his guys. But Adam Black's got some fantastic technique. Obviously, you saw the way he just was able to, you know, nicely switch that ball. It was a little bit long, but he can definitely leather the ball if he gets his chance. And, you know, let's see. We've only got about 15 minutes left, with 17 minutes left in this game. Let's see what happens.
Okay, then Ryan to throw it in from the near side, 76 minutes. Adam Black, the only player that we've seen with the corner kick goal. Very first game against the Houston Dutch Lions. See if they utilize that skill. And he'll come up right here. So we'll see if he takes it. Cortez will take this one from the left side. Black into the middle. With the Hume twins standing at 6'5" each.
Is that what the actual?
Both.
I've been making up some crazy stats tonight.
They've got 2 of them back there on corner kicks. will be able to head this out. Yeah. That's going to be such a mismatch.
They almost don't have to mark, right? Look, they're not even marking, actually. One's got the kind of the quote-unquote near post, and the other one's got the back one. It looks like you get everything that comes somewhat short, and I get all the deep stuff. It's probably not a bad idea because, again, they're just both so tall and good headers of the ball that everyone else can kind of put a body and mess up a run while they're kind of the ones that just go and header the ball. So it's pretty interesting to see.
Well,
and look at this. Every single player from Midland Odessa is back. Every single one. Look, the farthest forward is now in the 18-yard box. I mean, they really are packing it in here.
Cortez with it. Headed in. And a goal! Aztecs are back in it.
Fantastic header from Kalen. He has done that time and time again. Stepped up, just been a leader, just put his forehead right through the ball there, back of the goal, and it's finally a game. The crowd is finally back into it. You see Midland Odessa, they were kind of playing a little bit of panic where everyone was squashing back, and you're able to get a goal, and now we've got 14 minutes left, you know?
Beautiful corner kick from Cortez to set up that shot, and all 12'10" of the Hume twins couldn't stop it.
And look, we're back.
Attack coming. Black in the middle. Taps it back in to Ryden on the left end.
Kalen's buzzing. He's just passed the ball and he's going around.
Oh, another good pass, but it's headed out. Still not out of trouble. Cortez coming back in. Franz with it. Heads to Cortez.
And this is how you beat teams, when they sit back, and I don't want to say the word panic, but
back
get opportunities.
Booba Job. Cross on the right side. Tries to bend it in. Just almost gets it on the right post. That was a beautiful kick, even if it does go wide.
That could have, if that went in, that could have just topped off Eddie Campbell's for goal of the season for the Aztecs. That was unbelievable. He took the ball and just ripped it with his mixture of the in foot and laces, and was nearly about to put that upper 90, but it just slipped out a yard or so. But well done for Bubba. I mean, that was fantastic.
If that had gone into the back of the net, we just might be questioning gravity and physics and the like. Here it comes to Soccer's hand. Falling down is Fabio Pena after Osorio bumped into him. They'll call a spot foul. He'll get a free kick.
Leslie's got to be a little bit careful there. He's been a bit late to some tackles. You wouldn't want to get a soft red just from coming in late twice. But yeah, some of these subs have raised the game. It just goes to show you, not saying the players before them weren't playing well. It's just sometimes you need subs. The game goes on, and energy kind of just changes with the sub. And just Adam Black coming in and Booba coming in, and Franz has come on the ball, and he's done what I wanted Jeff Harwell to do: get on the ball, get some touches in, and connect some stuff. So he's done pretty well.
New chance of I believe that we will win coming in from Eberle's Army.
Yeah.
The fanatic fans of the Austin Aztecs into the corner for the Odessa Soccer's right side. Jorb trying to find room, but Cortez one-on-one with him, tying up, tries to get after it. Jorb comes up with it.
And if you're just, getting into soccer now since the World Cup, let it be known that Eberle's Army's been singing that chant for, a couple of years now. So that isn't just a new one from the World Cup. But I love how America adopted that as the national song. It was screamed in every bar. So that was definitely cool to see. And Eberle's Army has some other great chants to sing.
Right in the middle is another foul. Eddie Campbell had a breakaway. Eberle's Army not happy with this one. Perhaps they'll come up with another chant that we can't really talk about here after that call. They're going to give a yellow card on Eddie Campbell.
Oh, wow.
The second one awarded to the Aztecs tonight.
Coach Manny's fired up. You can tell. I don't know. It happened kind of quick. I don't know if it was deserved of a yellow. I think Eddie was just a little bit late when the ball was kind of loose, but
seemed like he had possession of the ball. I've never seen a yellow card after a person has the ball.
Yeah,
that's interesting. And this one Loosed all the way to the opposite end, out of bounds. Really no play on that, but
and again,
Sockers get a corner kick.
You know, this is how you kind of, you know, people ask, what's all the wasting time and all that? That's just kind of the nature of the game. You know, if you're winning 2-1, you're going to take your time. You know, it looks like they're subbing the free kick taker now, and the clock keeps running. You know, they're not going to jog. I mean, it's obviously the smart thing to do. The ref says hurry up a little bit, but that's just how the game goes. You know, he trots off here. You know, this is going to be...
As soon as he walks past Everly's Army, he gets a whole mouthful.
And look at this. The ref's not even allowing that guy to come on until he gets to half. I mean, this corner might take 2 minutes.
Number 17.
My goodness. We're closing in on 83 minutes gone here. 7 minutes left of regulation before extra time.
The big boys are up. Walker and Tucker, 31 and 32.
Corner kick, back post. Rolls wide, Tucker Hume chasing after.
Oh, bad touch.
That's going to be out of bounds. Can't really hold on to it, and it'll be Aztecs ball. They'll have to hurry up now. 6.5 minutes to go in regulation before extra time added. They need to get one more goal. Down 2-1. After a head-in from Kalen Ryden kept things alive. Osorio with it in the middle. Taps up to Cortez. Back into Freed.
Oh, it's a great chip. Great ball.
Leading scorer Adam Black with it on the left end. Cross into the middle and tapped away. A beautiful save by Babayak, and it seemed like Job was almost there to tap that one in.
Good job by Adam to get across. It had some velocity on it. It had some speed.
And even if that might have clipped a soccer player, that might have gone right into the goal as an own goal. Tucker with it on the opposite end.
Oh, another bad touch from one of the Humes that they wanted to have. He's got to hold that ball up, Tucker, if he wants to slow the game down. But good job from Trav and Marshall just to kind of annoy him a little bit and get it to bounce off his foot. And Dev's able to kick it up the field again.
Results in a goal kick. Perales into the middle. Justin Franz with it now. Into Eddie Campbell. Tries to lead it too far. It goes, and Hume will bat it back into the Aztecs way. Possession to Ricardo Yavarino. Into the middle. Tied up and two defenders, and well defended from Eddie Campbell. Back into Adam
Eddie's
Black.
got to stop just kind of whopping up the field. He's a technical player that does great small passes. I don't know why he keeps doing the long ball there.
Yavarino with it again. Trying to cross over with Cruz Aronos. But Aronos says no-nos, and it goes out of bounds. It'll remain soccer ball.
Probably got about 5 minutes to go. Probably only a minute or two of stoppage time. Really hasn't been a lot of delays. Let's see if it definitely looks unlikely for a win tonight for the Aztecs with such short time, but maybe at least a tie can happen here. I know Coach Manny doesn't want to drop a goal in his game. They're doing a good job of making another kind of sub. It takes about 45 seconds to get that done, and the game's kind of ticking away here.
All right. Tucker Hume will be subbed out of this game. He's done scoring a goal, but in comes Ricardo Dieguez. 10 appearances, no goals in 335 minutes. Not exactly production you want out of a forward.
But he's done his part there. He gets the ball and he's able to kind of take it all the way to the corner, and Cruz has to push the ball out of bounds himself. And look again, since we talked about the substitution, it's been about 2.5 minutes and they've got the ball on our corner here.
On the throw in to Dieguez. He goes back in, a shot again taken, and it goes off the hands of Perales. No, just a bit wide, maybe a centimeter off his finger. And he's going to get a goal kick. They'll have to operate quickly. 87 minutes closing. Travis Golden on this end. Down 2-1. Trying to maintain a one-loss season that'll match last year.
Yeah, that's tough. You don't want to you don't want to ruin this special season. Obviously, we're going to have the playoffs, but still, you know, it's something special to know. Oh, here we go.
Chipper from France, picking up by Black, can't get on it. Beautifully defended by Walker Hume to get a toe on it. Back out in the left end. They're going to call a foul on Adam Black, who tripped up Isaac Sanchez. He's writhing down. It seems more of a way of ticking that clock a little further.
And that could have been the chance right there. Adam got himself in a kind of a pretty cool spot. He was one-on-one with his back to goal, and he pushed the defender all the way up until about the penalty spot. And he could have laid it off for Eddie making that run, or he could have even turned it himself. But well done from the defender just to kind of aggravate him a little bit. And he ended up just losing the ball a little bit. And listen, Brooks, like we talked about, you know, it's not time wasting. It's just kind of how the game goes. You know, why would you take a quick kick? And again, just that little play and that, you know, foul, you know, took about, you know, 45 seconds.
And they're fighting for their playoff spot. They're up only 2 points on Laredo. They need 3 points in order to maintain that lead.
Dev wants to take this, and it's time to get a big one up there.
88 minutes, 26 seconds. Down 2-1. Playing for pride or what have you. They'll go to a 3-game series against Ocala on the 25th, but this is for this night and this night only. Coming up to Wiz Cortez, trying to get a shot off, but it's blocked right immediately by Pereira. He's got an open lane in front of him. They've got a 3-2 possession here. Oh, and a beautiful shot, but they're going to call offsides. Ricardo Yavarino. He was wide open on the right end and a little bit too wide open for the official. Perales will take this shot. 89 minutes. Tries to get it across and head it back towards midfield. And it's picked up by Goldborn. Sockers have it. Osorio comes up with a steal. Eddie Campbell now tries to pitch it up in the middle, hand it back to him from Hume. Into the middle of the field, Golden with it. Franz tries to lead it up to Job. Back to Campbell, back to Job. Campbell with it on the right hand, tries a cross, but it goes off a defender. Campbell comes back to it. Into the middle, tries a shot, but it goes wide. Shot. Aztecs back with possession, trying to chip it up and over to the left end. Black chasing after, but it's just too far. Sockers will get back possession on their end. A lot you can do with 5 minutes. The only one who knows how much time's left is the guy with the watch on the field. Kalen Ryden with it. Kicks it back to midfield. To Travis Golden, back to Ryden. Tries to skip it past Goldburn, but he gets a foot on it, back out of bounds. They'll have to hurry here. Probably about 4 minutes left now. Down 2-1. Thrown in. Tap back to Ryden. Osorio tries to chip it over to Cortez. Needs to get ahead on it. He wants interference. But it was well defended. Good position from the Sockers, and they'll get a goal kick out of this one. Probably about 2 minutes left. 3 minutes left here in the game. There will be no extra time after this. It will either result in a Socker win or perhaps an Aztec Sockers tie. A tie would mean each team gets 1 point, and the Sockers would only be 3 points ahead of Laredo, and a Laredo win would tie with them for second place. That would be very interesting in the fate for Midland. Ryden with it on the left end. Taps it up to Cortez in midfield. Trying to find some room, but he can't get to it. Tries to lead a pass, but it's booted out of bounds. Aztecs will get a throw in. Ryden with it. They'll hand it off to France.
Not too much time left here. I think Franz wants to throw one last big one in the box. I bet there's probably only about a minute and a half left in this game here.
Throw in towards the middle, headed over and almost in, but picked up by Babayak. Right in front of him. The header came from Franz, and he just couldn't get it through. Excuse me, Golden. And Babayak will boot it back into the opposite end. It'll be Aztecs ball.
And this is definitely hurry quick. Kind of the last hurrah here. I think Dev's going to get it, and we might have one pretty much chance here.
Well, Devon's had 2 assists in the past 2 weeks.
That's a good ball.
Campbell chasing over.
Get up.
Can't get to it as the Sockers come back with it and kick it towards midfield. Out of bounds. They'll have to work quickly. Maybe only seconds left. Thrown in. Campbell in the corner. They'll be heading back out. Sockers with it now, and it seems like that will just about do it here. Ricardo Diego's with it. Kick it out of bounds. Aztecs will hurry. Throws back to Perales.
Just letting it go. You'd have to think it's kind of getting close.
A little shorter than he expected. Goes out of bounds. It'll be Sockers' ball. Perhaps only 15 seconds left. I don't even know why I bother guessing. But
it's a fun game, isn't it?
That's part of the excitement of this game. You have no idea how much time is left. The Sockers throwing it in. Midfield picked up from Osorio. They'll try and get some space on it. Chasing over is Ryden. Perhaps he'll get a shot.
Maybe one last opportunity
down
here.
Down to Cortez.
They've really got to get it forward here.
Nice little juke move. And he gets tapped down. Wants a foul, but he won't get it. Back into Perales now. Perales takes it off the head. He'll try and sail it far into the opposite end. Takes a bounce off ahead. Chasing after is a Soccer. Back into Golden at the midfield. Back into Perales. Another kick across the middle. Picked up by Black. Could there be a miracle here in House Park? Franz blocked away.
That was offside.
Offside on the Sockers.
Maybe the refs, letting it play a little bit longer. Been a couple kickaways from both teams. Been a couple of, even in stoppage time, there's been some kind of,
Perales coming all the way up
time.
To midfield.
This is definitely the last thing. Devin, our keeper, has the free kick right at half and kicks it long. And
here it is, all the way into the middle, and it's punched away. Cortez comes back on and heads it forward, trying to get a shot on it. And it's going to be a foul on Franz, who got hit in the head. He'll have a free kick from about 60 feet away.
It's been the longest 4 minutes of our life here.
My goodness. This won't end. The Aztecs hope it won't end until they put a ball in the back of the net.
This is truly the last kick. Dev has actually ran up now. You've got Adam Black with a fantastic left. Even though it would only be a tie, he would absolutely be a hero if he's able to put this in the back of the net. And here he goes.
Leading score kicker with the left foot over it. Oh! It's a goal! Aztecs tie it! Adam Black loops it in.
That is huge. Coach Manny's so happy, and the perfect season continues. That's unbelievable. What an absolute goal.
Adam Black is the hero of the night. And the longest 4 minutes of extra time I've ever experienced. It's going to be a very long night for the Odessa Sockers on their way all the way back home after what they surely thought was a 3-point game.
I think it was Tucker who actually put it in the back of the net, but we've been doing this all year where we're getting these last second goals. I actually feel for the Midland coach who's screaming now at the fourth official for letting that game go on, and the ref calls it right now. My goodness, it was the last kick.
There it is. That's the final.
Look, and they're running over to him, and they're just saying that's absolutely ridiculous. And you know what? You've actually got a feel for them. Look. I mean, Midland, about 7 players have ran over the refs. That looks like it could get dangerous, actually.
Well, the Aztecs are coming over to protect him.
Look,
building a wall around.
A couple of pushes there, and man, we got some. And Man United, the old coach was Sir Alex Ferguson. They used to call it Fergie time, where you got a couple extra minutes, and you'd have to say we got some leniency there, but you know what? We took care of it, and we were able to put it in. And you know, if you're Midland and Odessa, again, that is tough. You know, that is a tough way to tie that game, because it feels like a loss to them. It feels like a win for us. But great job, fantastic job for Austin to keep their composure. You know, everything was going kind of hectic at the end. It was the last play, literally the last kick. I mean, we've seen this time and time out at House Park. There's something magical with this place. Adam Black is able to take a fantastic cross, and I think it was actually Marshall Tucker, another defender, who was able to header that ball home. But what a finish, and what an ending to a crazy game. We're sitting here 2-0 down, 65 minutes with only about 23, 24 minutes to play. Kalen gets a fantastic header off a corner. Maybe it was even less. Maybe it was 14 minutes to play, actually. 14 minutes to play. And then in the last seconds off of 4 minutes that seemed like an eternity up here, you know, I think it was past the 4-minute mark. I think the ref didn't want to blow the whistle when there was a free kick. Right. You know, so the free kick was already awarded. So, you know, you can't really, I think you can, but it's just kind of frowned upon to give someone a free kick and then call it. So we were able to kind of go past that 4-minute mark, it looked like, and take that free kick. But again, you do feel for Midland when you stand back and look. You saw their coaches run over to the ref and say, look at the watch. That was well over time. And it probably was well over time, but you've got to keep playing. You know, you've got to keep playing from Midland's standpoint. You've got to hold it up. You can't just keep giving it back to Austin. And then from Austin's standpoint, fantastic job for having the wherewithal and the composure. Adam Black stood over that ball, and he had a fantastic delivery, and Tucker ended up putting it in the back of the net.
Well, the interesting thing is that even though if they didn't want to call the whistle right at the free kick, it wasn't the free kick that went into the goal. It was bounced around and went in. Maybe the whistle, from an Odessa perspective, should have been blown then. Yep. I mean, from then, that's just devastating for them to come out with this, because they needed this game to come in. They needed to win this one.
And it's amazing.
And they don't get it.
It's amazing in this sport how sometimes ties can come into wins. It's kind of like the World Cup, where the loss to Germany actually felt more like a win than the tie to Portugal. You're looking around, the Odessa Midland team looks devastated. I mean, they're crushed. You know, not obviously we're Austin fans here, but you see them and you feel their pain. Now all they had to do, Brooks, was keep the ball for 5 more seconds. But you see the Austin fans, and they're so elated. There's nothing like winning, or excuse me, tying late. There's no other, not tying, but I'm saying you winning a game or getting a late goal. There's no other feeling like that in the world. I mean, you've put so much into the game. You're exhausted. You don't care how the goal comes. You don't care what it looks like. You just want it in. And look, we get a tie, but no one cares it's a tie. On the flip side, if we would have been winning 2-0 down and we would have let Midland Odessa come back and tie the game, I'm telling you, we would have been devastated. So it's funny how this game works. If we would have tied and been up in the game, we would have been heads down, upset. You know, but now everyone's celebrating. It's a party out there. Eberle's Army's loud and singing. Everyone's smiling and high-fiving it. It's just good for morale. Even though this game necessarily didn't mean anything, it's good to get 1 point out of 0, and it's good to know we can score, and it's good to know that, listen, you might not have we might not have got the full 3 points, but you definitely didn't come into our house and beat us.
And the interesting thing is that we were talking about earlier on with Tucker Hume having that wide open shot. You even said it, we might be talking about this later on, and that might have been the difference between a win and a tie for the Sockers. But that's just the game.
And you know what? You never know. I don't know why Tucker comes off in the second half. The same thing happened last game where Tucker comes off. I think if Tucker's on the field at the end, he's able to hold the ball up a tiny bit more than their other attacking players, and he's able to slow the game down, because all Midland Odessa needed to do, I kid you not, was string 2 passes together and hold the ball up a little bit more, or get 1 foul. If they would have got 1 foul or 1 throw in, the game would have been over. If they would have just passed it a couple more times. Again, if they would have got one foul, they would have been able to milk 45 seconds out of that and whop it forward. But they end up giving it back to Austin. We end up getting another ball. We end up getting another throw in. All of a sudden, there's a free kick. I don't even know how it came about. 25, 30 yards out, and you just felt something could happen here. We're sitting here in the booth saying this is literally the last kick. We're not lying this time.
Right, and I mean, Ross, it just must be something about Austin, Texas. Yesterday, President Barack Obama coming into town saying, why be a cynic? Hope goes a lot further, and hope went a lot further for all the Austin faithful here tonight, sticking around for their team. Down 2-1, come in the final kick of the night. Adam Black delivers the goal to give them renewed hope.
I mean, it was so last second. I don't know if people were just leaving to come over and be in a good spot for some Aztex signatures, but you saw a couple people moving around. I mean, we're sitting here, the game's not going off. I mean, time in, time out. It's unbelievable how you have to be on your edge of the seat with these Aztecs games because, again, I don't know what it is. But for whatever reason, in the first half, we always kind of hang out and relax, and we always let the other team, have a goal or so. And Midland's got to be devastated, but that's the heart of a champion. That's what we have. Right. Is look, we're not out. We are not out, and we're going to keep coming back, and that's huge to see. And what it is huge to see is in the playoffs, right? Because you never know. You might go a goal down when you go to the playoffs, and you see some good teams from different regions. And it's those teams that listen. It's always great to go a goal up and keep the lead and maintain it for a soccer game. Obviously that's the best way to play it, but they're going to be a goal down. There's two types of teams out there: the team that can't get back in the mix, and there's the team that stays very calm and can handle it.
Well, we'll see how much more they can handle it here. We're going to go to our post-game interview with Shelby Hodges. She's got her player out there with him. They'll be speaking over there alongside with Marshall Tucker. Shelby? And thanks, Shelby, for the post-game interview. Here we are in the final post-game. Aztecs come back from 2 down to tie it up at 2-2 and bring it in for a tie, sharing a point with the Odessa Midland Sockers, who will have a long trip back after this one, giving up a final kick from Adam Black in the final second, the final millisecond, to give up the win. And my goodness, what a gorgeous game we had tonight.
That was fantastic, and you mean it when you mean a long road trip. I mean, that is a long trip back home, but fantastic game. I think it's funny, it was going to be a sad game. Everyone walk out with their heads down low, and now all of a sudden there's just an enthusiasm.
Right.
There's kids running around. The Aztecs are smiling and happy. Yeah, it was fantastic. I mean, that's how you want to see a game. That's how you want to see a second half where you just don't know what's going to happen. We were on the edge of our seats, and I know Marshall Tucker just had his interview. He's a hero. Great goal in the end, and especially as a defender. I was a defender as well. It's something else to be a defender and score because you don't get it as much as midfielders or forwards, and it's exhilarating.
All right, well, we've had 2 games end up like this. Chuy-Cortez in extra time against Laredo earlier on this season, and then against Midland, Odessa, and then in this one tonight, Adam Black delivers one over to in that one to end this game. So we've had a lot of excitement from this team, and it's really something to talk about. Just because in a game that ultimately, in the scheme of playoffs, in any number or statistic doesn't matter. But what does matter past the numbers, they're able to deliver still, and that's something that's very important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, listen, it's just talking about the quality of type of player you are and the type of professional you are. When you put on the Aztex jersey, it's so prideful and it's so powerful and there's so much to it that you're not just out there to just scrape by points. We don't play this game to just scrape by a couple points. I mean, this is a developmental league, so it's not just, there's no meaning to this game. We've already clinched. It's, hey, we're out here. We've got our jerseys on. There's players that are on the bench that want to get in. Let's play this game. Let's get after it. And so, absolutely, it doesn't matter what's the scenario. You want to give your 110% no matter what, because you never know who's watching. You never know what the story is. You never know how you can improve or impress somebody. So it was good to see that. And we mentioned it. It was good to see those subs kind of come in and do their part. In the end, it was the two defenders that played the whole game that got their goals. But it was Adam Black's great service that kind of mixed some stuff up there. It was, a great corner that got it going. Franz came in there, Adam Black.
Right.
You had Bubba came in. He was pressuring people. He had 2 shots in 30 seconds.
Even though he didn't get a goal, I mean, he certainly made his presence known coming in.
Even though you don't get a goal, sometimes these things, get the keeper get a bit on edgy, get the back line get a bit exhausted, get them spread out, get them turning their head, and then all of a sudden, you get in, you get one. So huge. I mean, we're sitting there 14 minutes to go. There's 2 goals, ends up being a tie.
So all these players from the Aztecs coming through, you only get to pick one for player of the game.
It's got to be Marshall Tucker. I mean, if you score a goal with half a second left in the game, you absolutely win player of the game. I mean, it'd be a crime if I gave it to anyone else. Huge thing. I think we thought Adam Black nearly scored. I think it popped up off the post, or maybe it was on the line, but he ends up running down and makes sure it goes in and buries it in the back of the net with his head. So he's just had an interview, definitely man of the match. He was great all game. Yes, they got a couple goals against us, but listen, it's a tough team, and they were forward-thinking. But, to step up, come to the plate and get one home, that's huge.
Well, Marshall Tucker, Ross Kelly and I both agree, player of the game, well-deserved. But another Tucker Hume, and his brother Walker Hume going back home, going down to Midland, Odessa to try and hold on to the second seed. Now 3 points ahead of Laredo. Laredo has a chance to tie that one up, so it'll be interesting to see that one goes on. Austin will be back here next Thursday against the Houston Dutch Lions. What do you see how that goes down in the last game? I
see us closing it out with a good win. Houston's struggled a little bit this season, in last place, but they put up a good fight, and they'll probably be looking to close out this season. But I definitely see a win for that, and I see that being a good game of, like we spoke about this, getting a good momentum, making sure we get a good win. And also it's a good way for Coach Manny to kind of get some people playing time who haven't had it. But not only that, rest some of his guys that got banged up tonight. That was a physical game. If Andres Carrero still needs some resting up, our captain, he needs to rest up. Some people that got knocked around a little bit like that, get their rest, get healthy, because that should definitely be a win. And then the week after, we're going live. It's all, show starts.
Well, the show will start, and not after the next show on Thursday. They'll have a 3-game series for the Southern Conference Championship against the Ocala Stampede here in House Park, so that's upcoming as well. But the Austin Aztecs, their fans, and everyone else around will enjoy the heck of a finish tonight. Adam Black delivers, and also coming through Marshall Tucker to deliver the 1-1 tie, and ends this one for tonight 1-1 between Austin Aztecs and Midland Odessa Sockers. Thanks for tuning in with us. Ross Kelly, Brooks Cabina, thanks for joining us here on Texas Student Television, KVRX 91.7 FM. Thank you to all involved, and we'll see you next time.
Whenever you come, we play better. That was fun, man. What I do is going to be a boring loss. Tear down! Woo! Honestly, they win that game. Oh, man. That my shot. My point that's what I like about the game is that you go through